this off.
All right, there we go. All right, welcome everyone. We're about to start the FF6 Worlds Collide weekly race. Today we're going to be debuting the probably the most important one, the random bosses. But there are some other changes that we'll be seeing in here today. If you check out the new changes, we have a new no Ultima option, no Paladin Shield kind of option for people that just kind of want to see some of those items, found in chests or hidden item spots rather than to find them in the shops when you set that to random. So you won't be able to see those. I think we'll still be able to see those since I believe the items are on random for the shops. So but we'll see when we get there. We have Jackamus, we have Marth's SR, Mr. Entity, and Classy Badger racing today. And with me, I am Vampstar87, and with me we have Ultros with 3 S's.
Yeah, I go by Scott normally, but my Twitch stream is Ultros. How you doing today, Vamp?
I am doing great. How are you?
Doing good.
So as you can see, a lot of the racers are just beelining it over to South Figaro.
They're finding some pretty good early items. Looks like they've gotten Excalibur already, as well as a sizable amount of money from those early starting boxes. Looks like we're gonna get some shop checks in here too.
Mm-hmm. And Classy Badger went straight for the Kohlingen check.
I did not see what he found there.
I did not either. These guys are going pretty quick, so
Well, we have 2 awesome trackers with us today. Rothfuss and Ravlin are going to be keeping a sharp eye on everything, and we'll have to put by them what these guys are finding. We don't see it.
Ooh, that red jacket's going to be nice for some early bosses.
It's like we've got a behemoth suit in Celis's cell. That'll be really good for early defense.
Ooh, 4 shields at the South Figaro shop.
Nice
shield if you want for an ice too, real quick too. But yeah, it looks as though the racers are just doing the couple early checks so that way they can build up some money without having to fight anything yet. Build up some money and possibly get some good loot.
Yeah, so with a Celeste and Setzer start, we have quite a few options in front of us. They've gotten the free ones out of the way with the jail cell in Figaro and the Kohlingen Inn. If you were running the seed, where would you go first here, Van?
I probably would have taken the Classy Badger route and just checked off Kohlingen. Check the shops there, and then I probably would just go straight to South Figaro, like some of these other racers. That way, you can get a bunch of chests, you can check some shops, and you can, hopefully get either a character or an Esper, without having to fight anything. But after this, I'm kind of curious where these guys are going to go next.
I think it's too early. If it were me, it's too early for Magitech Factory. I almost feel like it might be Opera or Daryl's Tomb. Either one of them.
Well, so the big difference for these new random bosses is you have you have the boss shuffle, which is shuffles all the bosses in between themselves, and then you have what this mode I believe they're playing is the random bosses, so they can get any boss any number of times in most spots.
That's true. Makes it a lot more risky. Each check could be, either something trivial or something super late game. We've been running a few of them, and we had that seed the other night where we had Opma Weapon in place of Doom Train, and I ended up getting soft locked there because I saved while on Doom Train and couldn't beat him.
So Martha's making quite a bit of gold right now. The items he's found, and he is going for super balls.
It looks like Jackim is opting for that Daryl's Tomb play.
Oh yeah.
He ended up getting an Esper pretty early on that had Cure on it, so that's going to help him have a little bit more survivability. He decides to grind out a little bit by taking off that Moogle charm before hitting Doulahan. I should say before hitting Doulahan's spot. It's going to take some getting used to.
Alright, so we have Mr. Entity, which I believe he is checking shops to. Oh, and he might be going to the Magitech factory right now.
Oof.
I
think that's a risky play.
It might be all right,
all it takes is one of the bosses in the later part of the factory to be something cuckoo, and then he's stuck.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of checks done yet to be stuck behind 3 bosses. But hopefully in the factory he'll find to get Thunder Shield. Thunder Shield's great. Get that early bolt 2 going on a character.
Oh yeah, I love getting the early elemental shields in.
Oh, and we have an Excalibur and Minerva.
Yeah, that Celeste is going to be pretty well kitted out.
We have a Welk at Daryl's Tomb.
Something tame for them. That's almost free. I always find that when it's a boss like when I play other randomizers like Free Enterprise, whenever I run into a character like Welk, I always have the equivalent of a Umaro in my party that just gets me destroyed. Something auto battling and hitting that shell over and over again.
Yeah, I believe that happened to me on the Presenter.
Oh gosh.
Last scene.
Well, Welk goes down pretty quick. Ooh, and we have dual cranes in the Ifrit and Shiva spot in the factory.
I mean, it's pretty fitting, but they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I mean, cranes in a factory. Who knew? Looks like we've got looks like we had an Esper on Daryl's Tomb, so no new progression just yet. Oh wow! Did you see that Setzer survive with just 3 HP? Whew. And he gets, I think this is a guaranteed Magicite spot. Chat will correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. It's a bunch of aggressive spells. Nothing defensive just yet.
Now, I know they're skipping that monster in the box, but sometimes, monsters in box can give you a really nice item early on to kind of change your game.
And then sometimes it's 3 pugs.
Yeah. I mean, but they're also a good way, if you get a later enemy that should be in a monster or a box, you can get a lot of magic points and learn spells instantly. And always keep in mind those those elemental shields that they got, they are based on the magic points that you gain, so they can get some new early spells real quick.
And Mr. Entity finds in the second boss spot for the Magitech Factory, he finds tentacles.
Yep, that bolt's probably going to heal one of those tentacles at least.
Yep. Yeah. The upper right, lower left, and lower right all have their own magic immunity, so they'll absorb bolt, ice, and fire. I'm pretty sure the upper left one absorbs poison, but each one of them has an immunity. And I think it's going to be I think lore-wise, we've just figured out why Figaro was assaulted by them. It's because they were manufactured here.
So, Marth is going to be able to see the Narsh battle, which looks like it might be an item.
Not a character. That's the operative thing.
It is good to check the Narsh battle early on because it is available from the start.
Mm-hmm.
But you also get that early grind on some easy mobs to get some early quick levels. And when you run into an early boss that might be a little too difficult, those few early levels might be what gives you the edge to take them on.
Now, Vamp, before we started this race, I didn't check the victory conditions. It looks like we're 10-7, 7 characters, 10 espers in order to go into Kefka's tower.
Right.
So, that is a Chatternook in the Narsh battle.
That painting's gotta be cold.
Now, with the most recent update, there is a modification to this fight where the painting will spend much less time in the girl form to allow the fight to go a little bit more rapidly.
Although that Chatternook countered Marth and did not just went straight for him.
Yeah, that Bolt 3 is hard to deal with early on.
Oh,
but
he's
got
that
a force shield. He'll be fine.
Ooh, that's
that's unfortunate for Mr. Entity. See, this is the nightmare scenario for me.
Taking note to Jacquemus when he was cycling through his espers that Torado had a plus 100% to HP. Those are really good to keep in mind when you're
very, very good.
When you're starting out, some of these harder seeds. Utilize those stat boosts because that's really what's going to give you an edge early on.
Especially because you're gaining so many more levels at the earlier part of the game. Looks like Martha's electing not to grind. He's just going to wait for these soldiers to mosey on by him. So hard to get good help these days.
It is a much faster strat, but he's got to focus on evading.
Here comes that Super Ball.
Yep, and that Phantasm is just going to perpetually take health away right now.
Oh, we didn't make it before the bolt.
Alright.
That tentacle fight is proving to be very, very hard on these racers here. I don't think. Oh, and
Ooh.
he survives for the death whale, and is rewarded with a Ragnarok. Great job, Jaximus. Wow.
Now, the Ragnarok only had slow on it, but that 50% HP is definitely going to come in handy.
Yes, indeed. Now, we're finally going to get to see the Opera House here. This is the one area that we haven't been to yet with any of the other characters. So, if this ends up being a character, Classy Badger could end up coming into a bit of a lead here, at least
Absolutely.
progression-wise.
This is a good place to check for characters.
Mm-hmm. But we don't know what that octopus is going to get replaced by this time.
Good thing to know. I don't think any of these racers are probably going to go after any dragons today, but the dragons are also randomized, but they are still all dragons. Yeah, so
they're randomized amongst themselves.
Right, you could have 3 gold dragons in a sea. You could have 2 skull dragons. So we're probably not going to see that today. But that's what you would see if you did go after the dragons.
Oh, this is brutal. Those poor. I feel for Mr. Entity wiping 4 or 5 times on the tentacle fight. It's rough.
Maybe this is probably where I would just drop the Moogle Charm and maybe do a couple fights.
I think that's what he's chosen to do here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, maybe not.
Alright, Martha's going to check to see what the guy in the bushes has. It is the Esper Fenrir. Ooh, a nice little airship barrage.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a lot of XP.
Well, he's going to be grinding a little while here, that's for sure.
Yeah, based on what enemy you get, that's usually how much XP you're gonna get. And because the enemies are randomized, you might have a pack that's really low XP. You might have one enemy that just gives you a ton. And Jaximus perishes to the Mag Rotors.
You hate to see it.
Magitech Factory is pretty tough for these racers right now.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they went in as early as they did.
Oh, there we go. Phantom, the magic power +1. I'd keep that on Solace for a little bit.
Yep. Well, I don't know. That Tritalk with 100% health is
absolutely.
pretty nice too. All right, we're gonna get to finally see what's behind Ultros 3. Wait, Ultros 2. Sorry.
This would be Ultros 2. I don't think Classy Badger has any consumables.
Let me see. Kind of weird seeing Setzer being the rescuer in the Opera House scenario. Can you say? With Celeste and his team, who are these doppelgangers?
a Funbaba. Now, there was also, I believe, another change to some of the bosses, and I believe Funbaba casts Baba Breath, which blows away excess characters from your party. So I think he's going to be casting that a little bit more frequently than he normally does. But this also could be the only Funbaba we see in the seed, or we could see multiple ones.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy that we're stuck between a Funbaba fight and then whatever happens to be at the end of these railroad tracks will dictate where the next character comes from and how to see. Oh boy, that is not what you want to see. That is a poltergeist.
That is definitely what you don't want to see. But thankfully, to Jaxmus, his loadout to Celis is going to negate some of that damage. The poltergeist can be pretty nasty.
Holy smokes! We got an early fire chicken, baby. That force shield is paying off dividends right now.
So Marth probably didn't really need to do the dragon, but dragons usually give you an item, and they'll give you usually enough magic points to learn all the spells all in one shot. So that's always a good strat to do.
Well, Celeste is clearly our MVP on both sides this round. Ooh, we're gonna get a Tritalk fight in.
Yeah, who's at Tritalk?
That's Marth at Tritalk.
We have a piranha up here.
We got piranhas. Snowfish. Now, I don't know what Jaxmus does here. He's stuck. Okay, so he's opting to negate his second fight that he did. So he's only cleared one section of the Magitech factory. So that he can actually get out of here. Oh, Wait, I'm confused. Is Mr. Entity fighting a not Funbaba?
Yeah, this is one of the later mobs that you could run into in the game.
That's ironic as heck.
But he got quite a bit of experience for Celeste in that one fight. Like I said, you know, if you run into a later monster in a pack, that's where you'll get your experience. So his Celeste just jumped up to level 15. I believe you just took all the equipment off Celeste, so I don't know what's going to happen right here.
I don't really understand, but he can't have meant to do that. He must have thought he clicked optimal and not realized.
He's going for the kill. So this might be due to wanting to death to warp to your save point to retain levels without having, because he probably doesn't want to burn through a lot of his consumables right now.
There's an ability you almost never see sets or use.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Mr. Entity was taking advantage of keeping the levels, probably because he's low on way ways to resurrect his characters. It is a good method to use, but you must make sure you save before you do that. Otherwise, your progression might be a little bit more stunted than what you would really want.
It's kind of a rough fight for him too. He's got that giant behemoth in his normal encounters, and it's keeping him from being able to run away. Final Fantasy and its behemoth rules. I didn't see what Esper he got, but it looks like Marth got an Esper from that Piranha in Tritalk spot. And did we end up seeing what was in Opera House? Oh yes, Fun Bubba.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but so far Jackamus is in the lead with the Esper counts. But once these guys start finding characters that can quickly,
I don't think Jackamus is actually, unless trackers can correct me, when Jackamus reloaded his save, he lost the Esper from second boss in Magitech Factory. So I think he's actually at 3.
Oh, okay.
But he may be at 4. Yeah, looks like they're confirming that he's at 3. So it's still pretty tight.
Ooh, that's a good amount of experience for Mr. Entity, but I think he's gonna go for the death again.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, that Super Ball hit the shell. Not too bad.
Yeah, Super Balls are great to use. They do a lot of damage, and you can quickly one-shot bosses early on if you are able to purchase them early. Alright, I think Mr. Entity might be ready for boss again. Let's see if he can take down these tentacles now.
That rod break will help quite a bit. And Jaximus is going to find Fun Bubba in Ultros 2.
Yeah, unfortunately for Mr. Entity, leveling up does give you a little bit better advantage to taking some hits, but you're also increasing the stats of the bosses too, because of the scaling. So they're going to take a few more hits than what they would have if you had stayed at the original levels.
Ooh, that Fun Bubba used Blowfish and just wrecked poor Jaximus's Celis instantly.
Yep, and Blowfish happens to be one of those spells where it just does 1,000 damage to you, no matter what kind of gear you're wearing.
Fixed, no matter what. If it hits for 1,000. So everybody's hitting walls here.
I'm starting to think the progression is behind the third boss, or after the minecart.
It's either after Poltergeist or after Fun Bubba. Because I mean, unless you can get a character off of Doomgaze, I don't think that's possible, though. They're the only two checks we haven't seen that are available.
Yeah, I think Entity will get to the next phase after this fight.
I think Classy Badger is going to wreck Fun Bubba here because of those super balls that he's going to start throwing at him. I think this should do it. I think we're going to actually see something. Although the giant green lizard is definitely going to give him a run for his money. Looks like he's trying to get Setzer up just so he can get that little bit of XP that he needs to get, but...
Oh, I don't believe he's going to get any XP other than magic points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's one X Ether. Hopefully... And I think Classy Badger only has a few more hits on the combo before.
Yeah, I think we're about to see whether or not this seed is going to require a fire chicken to get through. Oh, here we go. We're going to know in a second. Big lizard down.
And Mr. Entity should be taking this tentacle down in just a second.
Yep. Oof.
That's not good. You don't want to be picked up by those.
Do we have a character? We have a Gao.
We have a Gao.
That opens
So
up two more checks.
We have 2 more checks, yeah. But they are pretty likely to have a character on them.
Yes.
And Serpent Trench is a really good one to get early on, because obviously the early levels, you'll have easy fights throughout the Serpent Trench, no bosses.
Man, those starting rages he came with are horrible. Oof. Big oof.
Now, what I haven't seen yet is anyone really utilizing their espers yet. They can do some good things against bosses. Don't ever forget your espers.
Yeah, it's pretty fairly late game ones too. Fenrir for the Vanish, and then or not for the Vanish, Phantom for the Vanish. And they got Tritok for smell metal damage.
But they got Tritok. Ragnarok can take down some bosses too.
I was watching Vamp play earlier today, and he was doing a seed that required he hit all 8 dragons, and he ran to Gold Dragon and didn't deal any damage to it, but Ragnaroked it and turned it into a crystal orb. First ability, first try. So Marth has done a lot of checks for espers. The problem is Marth may not be as ahead as it initially appears because he doesn't realize he's about to run into a poltergeist at the end of this.
He's about to run into a poltergeist, but I do believe he does have a little bit more knowledge on the shops and what's going on out there. So he is not gonna waste that much time when he finally gets out of here.
Mr. Entity's about to find out the exact same thing, and so the possibility of backtracking is very real right now.
It's not a good situation since the Setzers are dead.
Now, Marth did something interesting. Marth decided to go in with Setzer alone because presumably because Setzer was lower level than Celeste. And the enemies are scaling off of player level, so he's trying to manipulate the enemy difficulty.
Right. And that's why Mr. Entity's Setzer keeps dying, because there is a level gap. The enemies are probably a little higher than Setzer, so they're doing a little bit more damage to
him. So we may be getting our Veld character here as soon as this tap dancer got these rogue wild tap dancers on the Veld trying to
feral tap dancers.
Feral tap dancers. Oh, there's a good character.
Yes. Marth would have an easy time getting through Poltergeist with those suit ball if he can withstand the damage. But he negated that hit, so he's on track right now.
Looking good. Force shield.
You know, and since you're going after...
Downs the poltergeist.
Downs the poltergeist with ease.
So now we get to see if there was a character back there too. Or if the only way forward was through the obese lizard in the arts.
Alright, we got Classy Badger picking up a Sky Render from the Gao's check. Gao's father's check. Not what we're looking for, but Sky Render is a very good sword to pick up.
So what do we have now? We have that we haven't seen.
Alright, we just got Ifrit.
We just got Ifrit. Which means that, and an Oppo weapon 1.0. That is a brutal Magitech factory. Wow.
He's gonna go ahead and break his flame shield on Atma weapon. I think think he might have maybe one more hit on him if he has a super ball to dispose of, or he might be out of them.
No, he blew them all on Poltergeist.
So yeah, it's got to be another fire too.
Will it be enough?
But I think the real progression for the seed looks like we might need to go to Serpent Trench, pick up another character.
So Serpent Trench is a good point. We could see that. It could also very well be that the progression's on Floating Continent. Oh, he downed Atma Weapon.
Could be on Floating Continent, or it could be on Sir Behemoth.
Very nice. It could be on Sir Behemoth, you're right. God, early Sir Behemoth plays are kind of my worst nightmare. He's got the whole gambit to Meteo and everything just waiting for you. Thankfully, that early force shield is allowing them to get through a lot of what's there. Okay. Jacksmith, that's a bit overkill. You ran into a one lone wolf and you bring in your whole airship to kill it. I mean, come on now, bud.
Ooh. Classy Badger picks up a Minerva for Celes. That's going to really help. He also kind of saw him trying to figure out which weapon to use on Shadow, whether it was the Atma weapon or the Skyrender. Skyrender's going to do a lot more damage right now because the Atma weapon is scaled on your total health.
But if he puts that 100% extra health Esper on,
yeah,
he could set up early now for an Atma weapon beat stick later.
Absolutely.
All right, so we know the progression was on Opera, and then after that on Veld. Looks like we're going to get to see what the shiny will bring us this time around. Jacksmith being the first one to go check that.
Now, if you're new to, or just getting back into playing Final Fantasy VI, or if you're new to the randomizer, if you want to get both chest rooms on the Serpent Trench, you go right and you go right. You'll get both rooms, you'll get the chests that you want out of there. But if you like to skip them, you can go left, and you'll pop into the second chest room, and then you'll finish the event that way. But I do believe it forces you to stop at least at one of them, so you don't have to deal with not using consumables in between fights. So Jackamus is going to skip the first chest room.
I do not know how Mr. Entity is going to get through the factory without the arsenal of super balls that Marth brought in.
he doesn't have that, and he's really low on consumables, so I don't even know how he's going to stay alive.
He went in so early.
I mean, you don't always have to do it, but sometimes it's good to make an extra save file before you go into something like this, especially if you're not super well prepared on consumables.
Oh, that Agliaform just about leveled the entire party for Jacksmith just now. All right, looks like Jacksmith is opting to take the quick way out of this place, if the game will let him.
So yeah, even if with having low amount of espers this way, I'd still keep one character on with that 100% HP to either build a tank, tanky physical character, or possibly just boost the healer so that way they're gonna stay alive a little bit longer to keep the party alive.
I think Marth's play is super interesting right now. Just opting to do the one Setzer the whole way for the time being.
In
until he
Nikia,
puts
we
it
have
to
offerings for sale.
Oh, that's going to be a huge upgrade for most of our players if they can afford them. Did we wind up with the?
The Jackamus found them, but they were 53,000. So hopefully he takes note of that to come back for him.
Mhm.
This is also a really good shot because he's able to pick up some warp stones, so he can get in and out. Especially since that Sir Behemoth Cave is coming up soon.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get in there and warp right out.
So it looks like our progression has to be either on Floating Continent, which is the exact same trap that we were looking at with the Magitech Factory, or Sir Behemoth Spot.
Yes, the offering does demand a sacrifice of your gold.
Sir Behemoth Spot's going to be interesting because it isn't Sir Behemoth anymore, most likely. So it could be something nice and tame.
Yep. But the good thing about it is you can see what you're going to grab from that spot before you get up there. And a nice little save point right before the boss, so that way you can warp out if it causes you too much trouble.
We should ask chat what they think is going to be on the next big progression spot. So if we're going to Sir Behemoth, which it looks like we're about to, what do you guys think is going to be on Sir Behemoth spot? Be kind. These runners have had a rough go of it so far. Umaro at Sir Behemoth. No. I don't mean what character. I mean what boss.
Goddess. Very well, it could be Goddess.
So we're still very cheeky, Raphalos.
With the way this seed has been going, I wouldn't doubt that it's going to be a character with one check only to give you progression.
What boss do you think it's going to be, Vamp?
What boss?
Another poltergeist. You're real nice, Drew.
Honestly, I would actually be pretty happy if we saw a Hedon there. That would be pretty cool.
Well, we just saw an unconscious Strago, I think. So Hedon would be real nice and flavorful. My answer is always going to be I want to see my octopus friend. I want to see an Ultros. Doesn't matter what phase of him it is, but the more octopus, the better. And we've got Goddess. Who called it? Ravlin, you monster.
Now, Goddess can be very tricky.
Yes, another finger on the monkey's paw curls up. Indeed, Etap. Oh, man.
Now, Goddess is one of those bosses I like to kill just quickly, because if I give her too much time, she is going to wreck my party.
Oh, she certainly feels like a DPS race every time I fight her.
So this would be one of those fights where I would say, at this early of the stage, super balls would be really nice, and just to throw 4 balls at her, that would be probably a kill shot.
I would make a joke, but this is a family channel, sir. Goddess is not being friendly, though. Marth is picking up his shadow now. That might be the end.
Smarth is doing very well on collecting espers. Although none of the espers seem to really shine right now, other than the stat gains.
That's true.
But if you collect a good amount of espers early on, you'll have an easy time for some fights if you kind of leave those options available in your party. Like if you happen to find a Rexol somewhere and you have Raiden equipped, Raiden insta kills Rexol and you don't have to do anything.
That is a downed goddess. He picks up his fifth character in the form of the old man.
So we got Strago. Strago's awesome to grab right now.
Yeah, let's see. He opens up Burning House. He opens up the hiding spot in
Ebot's
the
Rock.
cave. In Ebot's Rock, yeah. And then he opens up Fanatic's Tower.
I don't think we're quite ready for
I don't think we're ready for Fanatic's Tower.
But that building in Tomasa is definitely going to get the runners some good experience and some levels on the characters that
absolutely
kind of boost. This is where you equip the right espers on. Don't worry about the spells you're learning, because you'll learn spells on dragons or whatever if you're passing by them. But this is where you get the stat gains.
Yep.
Now I wasn't I didn't check the lore on Strago, but does he have
I don't think we've seen lore? I don't think we've seen it yet, man.
Okay, well, Minerva's for sale at Tommaso. Pretty good to know.
Ragnarok's as well.
Ragnarok's. This is a pretty good area to shop once they start getting money, and they're about to get a lot of money in the burning building.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't believe they checked the relic shop. I always like to check the relic shop. So you run into every little balloon. Throw either water skeins at them. Use Strago to use Aqua Rake, and you can burn through all this pretty quick. So hopefully at the end of this they'll be able to buy a few of those Ragnaroks. Yep. Well, Clean Sweep and Aqua Rake will work.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that two of our runners are in the fight of their lives against fire chickens, or knowing that there's an Atma weapon right after them. Man.
And once again, this might not be the only fire chickens they find. They might find two more of them.
we can only hope, Vamp. Marth elects to leave the goddess be. He resets his game. Perhaps to go pick up more Super Balls or check some other things that are available to him.
I think he might be going to the floating continent.
That'd be interesting to see him do that.
Maybe to a few shops first.
The world is Kefka's Tower, Rathalos. The world is Kefka's Tower. Actually, you could look at it a completely different way. You could look at it the fact that all of these fire chickens are they're in the world of balance, so it's just more like Kefka's Tower is a menagerie where he puts all of these dangerous things. He's just looking out for us. Kefka for president. 2020. Just looking out for the people.
Kefka couldn't contain his jail. We couldn't contain Kefka in his own jail. He got right out.
Looks like Marth is selling everything he's got for some more Super Balls. I can't blame him.
Super
Indeed.
Balls will save us all. Super Balls seems to be the theme of this seed. I hope that's the seed title.
God help us if we ever start doing co-op races for Worlds Collide. Team Super Ball is going to be a real thing.
A multi-world? I don't know. I don't know if that could work.
I'm interested. Oh, Atma Weapon in the Burning House. We have Atma Weapon 1.0, number 2, in Flame Eater spot. Oof. That quack.
But yeah, anyone tuning in just now, you can go ahead and check this out at ff6wc.com. All the information is there. All the links to the Discord. Very cool. Very cool community. Everyone's nice and friendly. And we like to see some weird stuff happen in our Final Fantasy games for sure. This is
understatement. And Atma Weapon number 2 goes down.
now in a normal game there would only be 2 Atma weapons you fight, but we could fight some more.
We got
And
a
you got a
Magicite
unicorn.
for our troubles. We also have Goddess going down for Marth here in Sir Behemoth's spot. So we know progression has to lie in one of 3 places. It's got to be Fanatic's Tower, Ebbets Rock, or the Floating Continent. We are going to see some Floating Continent action now from Jaximus.
You want Umaro hiding in the Fanatic's Tower? It could very well happen.
I always knew that Sasquatch was a big cultist.
So one thing that's really cool to know, if you have a boss, say like at Funbaba spot where there's 2 different like frames,
Phases, yeah.
Yeah, 2 phases where you see one party and then it reloads. You might have 2 different bosses there, so we might see some really interesting things coming up.
But it can't be where it's a continuation of the fight, like with Sir Behemoth, where you fight Sir Behemoth and then it becomes a back attack and it's the zombie Sir Behemoth. That's just going to be one fight. But if it ever has to reload the fight, then you're looking at multiple bosses.
So Mr. Entity he's got that. Man, he's carrying that dead sensor everywhere. Sensor is laying down on the job over there.
I can't wait to ask him how he's feeling about this seed. An hour in and he's still.
Can you
sitting
get a
on-
chain of reloading boss fights? I don't believe so. I have seen, say like one seed I had where Kefka was at Funbaba, and then right after it was Poltergeist when Kefka escaped. So it was pretty cool. He's napping. Setsu's napping over there.
He's an old man. He's got silver hair. He's not as young as he used to be in his youthful gambling days. I just realized when Marth hits the end of this stupid house, we're going to see two separate and different Atma weapon fights at the same time.
All right, and our we got Doom Train going into the floating continent.
The Sky Train.
How did we get that train up there? We don't know.
Well, I just want to know why the train got to use the airship and not the party. Like, that seems like they should be falling right now. And there's my favorite octopus. He uses 1.0 Ultros. You can tell because he came up out of the water in the sky. Also, no tentacles. He just wanted to see what was going on. Like, what's up, everybody? Me swim away.
It was suplex that far up. It was the cranes. The cranes on inside the Magitech factory dropped him off there.
Oh, look at this free fight on floating. This is a oops, forgot to put my Moogle charm back on in the game, saying I'm sorry for everything I've done to you up until now. And Classy Badger taking another crack at the fire chicken.
Alright, and Marth got his shadow up to about level 36. That's all it really takes is one burning building to send your characters skyrocketing.
All it takes is one small act of arson to become powerful. Remember that, kids.
I don't know about that.
Just kidding. Randomania does not condone acts of arson for any reason.
Alright, so Jackamus is blasting through the floating continent. There's not really very much to check through here.
Sorry. Chat makes me giggle.
There's not very many checks to do up here. There is some monster in the wall over here. They're probably going to ignore it again.
Oh, that's a whirlwind. All right, let's take a look at what's in Atma weapon spot. We know it's not Atma weapon. It's Air Force.
So we have a grounded plane over here.
Yeah, he
The plane is pretty angry.
was just trying to make up for being late. Since he couldn't make it to the airship in time. Now we have the side-by-side Atma weapon off the top right now. Down goes Air Force.
It seems though Martha's making quick work of the Tomasa's Atma weapon with the fixed dice and throwing the man-eater.
Yep. And it looks like Mr. Entity might, I don't want to speak too soon, but that Atma weapon, he just scanned it and it's got less than 4,000 health now.
Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, we missed.
Oh, he's having to rely on Runic to absorb MP just to get the spells off that he needs to win. That's nuts.
All right. So Martha's got his unicorn. He's getting pretty close to go mode. He only needs 2 characters and 2 espers now for go mode, technically.
Yeah, he's definitely creeping up on it, but I think he's gotten fairly lucky in terms of where character placement has been. Oh, Vanilla Narapa. Is this even randomized? So the white is the number of characters and espers that they've obtained so far. The yellow is the number that they need in order to enter Kefka's Tower. So the goal is 10 espers and 7 characters for them to be able to go and attempt to climb that tower and fight the last bosses. Oh man, did you see that? That
I
whirlwind
did.
almost took him out.
Was that Umaro on the floating continent?
I did not. Yes, it is. Umaro was on floating continents, so that gives us that extra check at Sasquatch.
Now, normally you can see what you're going, like what your reward is going to be through this little cave above where Salos is right now in Jacquemus' game. But he's going so fast that it's not even going to appear unless you wait for the animation.
And Mr. Entity finally makes it out of the extremely punishing Magitech factory with just a couple of espers to show for all of his effort. Congratulations on that insane early game 2 character.
Well, I bet you the first thing he's going to do right now is probably go and buy some consumables, because that was probably driving him nuts.
I think that's likely. Got some money now. Man. Yes, we knew the piranhas on ice had occurred because we'd seen Marth do it just a little while ago. He got an Esper for his troubles.
You know, Jacobus and Martha are very close. I
Yes.
think it's too close to tell. Martha's going with some really nice speed strats, and he's cutting time where he's going right now.
I don't know. I feel like characters are the real gate here right now.
Mhm.
I think that character is worth a lot more than the Esper is.
Yep, very very different strats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think Serpent Trench was just an item.
Yes. Oh, and we get a Sabin at Umaro spot.
And a second Narapa, so
Oh, yeah, that's pretty free.
very easy fight to do. So now that we have Sabin, we have the Imperial Camp, we have Vargas, Phantom Train, the
Baron
Collapsing Building,
Falls.
and Baron Falls.
Yeah, opened up the whole game. 5 more checks on top of the other ones that we haven't seen. We haven't seen Ebbett's Rock or Fanatic's Tower character yet. Potential character in Fanatic's Tower.
Alright,
We
so there's a
see-
merchant holding up the building, so
Possible Esper.
it's a maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's also a really nice Discord where we're frequently running seeds and working with one another and doing some teaching and things like that. So feel free to look up the community and become a part of it. We'd love to have you. All right, what did we get from this merchant? We got a
Starlight.
Magicite. see if this Magicite's any better than the other stuff we've seen. There's a Flare and a nice 3. And a really nice Quick Learn Cure 3. Wow, did you see that? 20x Cure 3. Yep. One more Esper and he is in go mode.
And I don't think anyone's gone to the auction house yet.
That's true.
It's a good, easy way to pick up an Esper, especially with the setting that the NPC gives you a little hint. It says, "Hey, hidden or glowing stone's still available." It means that they're still there for you to grab.
Yep. Looks like Jaximus is going to opt for the Imperial base, though. This is a relatively quick check.
This Worlds Collide is very new, a few months old.
This is our second weekly race for it so far that we've had up, and it's getting updated all the time. This week we had a huge patch that just came out, and we're featuring the boss randomization for the patch right now. There is a known bug right now in the current patch where many of the enemy's special attacks that would normally apply a status effect are only applying darkness. And so you're seeing an abnormally larger number of people getting blinded. There's also a lot of nice tracker resources. I recommend Emo Tracker for Worlds Collide. It's quite good. And then, of course, if you ever have any questions, you can always ask in our Discord. We have plenty of people that would be very happy to help you. Ooh, it does look like Jaximus is in go mode, an hour and 16 minutes-ish. So yes, the character gating that was debuted last week is brand new, and then on top of that, now we have this boss randomizer, which is this week's patch. There were a lot of other minor things that were added this last patch as well that are pretty incredible. How much Otmatech has been able to pack in to just a week.
I like that grow mode.
Grow mode? Yeah, I was thinking, well, I better not say that out loud or it's going to become a staple in this community. That's too catchy.
Alright, so Jackness is going up to Kefka's Tower right now. Let's see what kind of parties he forms, because this is... You never know what you're going to get. You have several bosses between the statues, and you have Kefka himself. And they could be anything. They could be... You could get another Doom Train out there, which would be cake.
It could also be the worst possible option where, you know, Kefka's Tower is like a box of chocolates and every single one of them is filled with coconut. Nobody likes coconut.
Love coconut.
And chocolate? You're a monster. Get out of here.
But yeah, I mean, he could come up to some Rexholes, and based on some of the spell loadouts, Rexhole might be a pretty hard boss.
Raphaelis, I love your sense of humor, man. Was that an economizer that he just picked up?
I
think
did
it
not
was.
see. If it was, it's really gonna help out. I would leave that 100% HP on my guys though. Some of those spells are probably not even going to be needed or used, but you never know. Wyvern's not bad.
He scratches and fireballs. That's all he's gonna get. There's a really unfortunate fixed die.
Meanwhile, Martha's up top, just smacking Ultros with some heavy damage. I'm pretty sure he just made calamari.
I don't know about that. He'll be back.
The
That's
octopus just got
That's
fried.
Ultros's way. You could turn him into calamari, he'll still be back tomorrow. He's like the cockroach of the sea. Oh, it was an enhancer Jack Smith got, not an economy. I just saw the E and it was really fast. So
Yeah, Enhancer happens to be that lower level sword that I believe pulls MP
right.
damage.
Vamp, you're not screaming use break at Class C Badger right now.
Break is awesome. It's a
every
very
time I think of one of
underrated
those.
spell. Very underrated spell. And
We've
you
just
could
found the Magic Master of Kefka's Tower. Do we have
So-
the no Ultima option on right now?
I am not entirely sure.
Ravlin, do we have a no Ultima option on for Magic Master? Okay. That's very kind of you.
So
We're going to find out one way or another.
So
So that's
no
a new
Ultima-
option this week.
Yeah, if the no Ultima's on, that just means that Jackmas can just go to town on clearing Magic Master without that worry of the final stand move of Ultima just destroying his party. But there are some good strats to avoid that. You have Life 3, which is usually the intended strat, or you could use Palador and make your party jump right before he casts his final desperation move. I happened to play a seed the other day where I had to cast Rasp for about 5 minutes straight. And if you
I got to watch that whole thing too.
if you drain Magic Master of all of his MP, he just dies.
He tries to cast Ultima and then goes, oh, and then dies.
So, very good boss to keep scanning on if you don't want to just lose a bunch of progress without, with just going in there all willy-nilly. So.
Yeah, he is. Setzer's absolutely doing some huge work. But he just unequipped that offering from Setzer and threw it on Shadow, and now Shadow's gonna help party number 2 make its way downtown here.
I can tell you, Setzer is going to get some carpal tunnel from all that dice rolling. It's going to happen.
Are you trying to say that Setzer needs a dice cup?
It would be funny. I don't think it's cheating with fixed device and offering. There's a lot of really cool builds you can make your characters do, and exploring them is half the fun.
Pretty sure the joke was that it's cheating because the dice are fixed.
Well, I mean, I think Edgar was the first cheater with a double-sided coin.
That's true. I'll remember that the next time I'm in Vegas, Rofalos. If I'm gonna play craps, aim for the eyes.
Yeah, the offering damage penalty can be a deterrence using it super early. But if you're fighting trivial mobs, it might help speed things up too. So we got Marth on the hunt for one more character, and Marth is
We
about
know
to
that
find
he
that
is.
character.
We know that he's about to find Sabin here, so he's in good shape.
There we go.
Jackson's
Jackmus.
recognizing he's fighting nothing but zombies.
Alright, so we got Mr. Entity checking Daryl's tomb. And what did we find in Daryl's tomb before? It was an Esper?
Yeah, it's just an Esper.
So I know a lot of the racers opted to skip monsters in the boxes, but Mr. Entity is going for that monster in the box, and it happens to be an easy one.
A lot of money for his trouble.
Yeah, it was a good fight for what he got.
Yep. Oof.
So another great change that has been done in the latest release was the Paladin Shield change, where you can change whether the paladin shields show up in shops, auction houses, or whatever, you can make sure that you don't get any free easy paladin shields. So that's why it might be really good to check these monsters in the boxes. On the flip side, you also have the option to change how many battles it takes to change a curse shield into a paladin shield, and you can change the range from 0 to 16 or even all the way up to the full 256. However, I believe I was trying to change paladin shields earlier. I think we can only change one shield in a seed at this time, and I'll be. But you're able to change one pretty quickly if the setting is very low. That might be the only way you get Ultima in your seed.
Are we gonna get a Ragnarok on Welk? Nope.
Nope, that's a miss.
Telling you, man, Kefka's Tower full of delightful creatures, petting zoo style. Got little crows and rabbits eating lettuce. Does this seem like the Tower of Evil Overlord to you? I don't think so.
I think the way that Martha's going, he might only be bringing up like 3 characters up to Kefka's Tower.
I think that's likely.
Yeah, there's been these strats in the game, and the early paladin shields can easily break a seed where you can just kind of steamroll a seed with very little effort. But you should always at least look for one because they might save you in the end.
There's nothing wrong with Ultima spam, but variety is the spice of life, my friend.
So Classy Badger's picking up their Strago, maybe after this goddess fights. That's still always a pleasant surprise finding goddess right there.
It's just so mean.
Look at that old man run so fast in Jackness's cave.
He waddles with the best of them, man. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Look at Sabin pretending that he's Setzer. Man, if I throw these dice extra hard.
And that's where they're heavily relying on the RNG with those low hits with the dice.
Yep.
Suplex the dice. I don't know.
Change the outcome. Suplex the dice.
I'm starting to think Jack has only brought one set of gear, and he's.
Oh yeah, he's been trading it out this whole time. Suddenly we find out it's a dragon seed. Everybody starts scrambling.
So the one thing that I kept forgetting when I first started playing this again was that switch right there in the balcony in the middle. If you start running your characters over there without hitting that switch, or you start running a little character, you're gonna have to come back and open up those two doors on the side.
That's right. Entity hasn't found his first character yet. I wonder if we're going to beat the entire Warring Triad before he finishes the Fun Bubba number 2. Speak of the devil, and the devil shall come.
So, fun fact: if Foon Baba just follow breaths your party and the fight changes screens, you'll automatically win the fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if there is not a second phase to a particular location, you'll automatically win the fight because it won't be changing to something.
Mm.
So he's not to be feared too much. However, he's still got some nasty spells that you'll have to mitigate a lot of elemental damage.
He's still the Lizard of Gluttony. You can't just let him walk all over you.
And we got a poltergeist.
Fire chicken number 2. Oh God, Classy Badger just went just went to Fanatic's tower.
He wants that Go-Go.
Is that who we saw there? Go-Go? Bottom
Go-Go
Fanatics?
down there.
Oh boy.
Now, if we get Go-Go, Go-Go's easily adaptable to replace a party member, because he can just clone everything.
I'm terrified of what we're going to find at the top of this. Fire chicken number 2 is down.
I'm gonna call it. It's gonna be a karate master at the top of Fanatic's tower.
It's going to be Dataluma up there. Okay. What would be really mean to find up there?
Oh, the people want another fire chicken. A goddess.
Hey, another
Hey.
offering's nice.
Offering's not bad.
Guardian. Calling it. Oh, always knew the Guardian was a cultist. And it's Sir Behemoth. That's a terrible boss for this spot. Oh no.
It's not terrible.
It's terrible.
It's not that bad. They just have to burn the first phase and then Phoenix down the next Behemoth. But the spells that they're working with is not
No,
not very good spells that you'd want against this boss.
is that Fun Bubba number 3? In Jaximus's screen?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, there's the Baba breath. Later, Shadow. Later, Celeste. Free boss.
See, free boss, and you instantly win because there is a phase change.
Triple
But
Fun
but
Bubba.
that party member is not in Kefka's tower anymore. That is the crutch to it.
He lost his shadow permanently. It's back on the airship.
With all the gear that was equipped to them.
Oh no, with all the gear, with the fixed ice and the offering. Oh,
That
oh,
is the
that's
big...
so mean.
Yep, and he's got to warp out
Oh,
and go grab him again and bring him back. That was probably the best thing I've seen this season.
That's pretty great. Oh, Rav. Jinxing all our runners.
Well, at least he can form different parties now, because he's already cleared most of the bosses.
That was the last one he had before Kefka. That's just mean.
That's a run killer right there.
Yeah, that's true. Whew. Spicy.
A good way to kind of counteract something like that would probably be spending a little bit more time in burning building and racking up some gold and buying some of the items that they saw. Because mostly everyone in here is probably running with like 1 or 2 good sets of equipment, and the other characters are kind of lacking. We don't need a sneeze guard relic. We don't need a tactical shield.
Ravlin got it. It's got to be a relic called the Tissue. That was close. Classy just beat Fnatic's tower. Well done. If only he wasn't so far away in Espers. Looks like Mr. Entity has found Sir Gao.
The runners are still making very good time, considering all the random bosses.
Oh man, no kidding.
I think Marth just wants to see some 999s on those on Kefka.
Think so?
I think Marth likes some high numbers.
Hmm.
Well, I can tell you, I have had a seed where I had 2 tunnel armors, and like 3 of each statue. It's definitely randomized for sure. Tech did a really good job. You never know what you're gonna get. I've even seen the Narsh Kefka in a fight, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right before Rafaela says, nope, only 4 fire chickens. Marth is picking up some behemoth suits. Get that defense up. And it looks like we got an experience egg for Classy Badger. I'm going to guess that Marth wishes that he had been running with those for a while. This is true. This is very true. Marth will have all of the Super Balls.
And 4 shields.
Apparently 4 shields as well.
So how is Jackness fighting cranes again?
I don't know what spot they're in. I guess they're in the final statue spot, the one that's behind Guardian. Oh, Doom spot. Okay. So I guess we did have one more statue to look at.
I love how Setzer makes that, like, you know, that look against the save point, like, ooh, what are you gonna do?
What a roller coaster of a seed. Oh, we find Mog inside the Zone Eater. You know, I've always wondered what Moogles actually are. They're like a cross between like a...
And Marth found the Luminas
like a
in
cat,
Alberta.
a pig, and a bat. You can find the Luminas.
Now we got Jackman starting the Kefka fight in the
Yep.
first phase. He is
Focusing
a
the head
bit
first.
lower than the others. The low percent strats can work too. Also, if Kefka counters you with a Ultima, it's very hard to come back from that too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the Force Shields will block the Calmness on the third phase.
Yep.
In Meteo's like,
It's true.
Marth is not bringing his Shadow. Probably because he wanted to be around the level 30 range.
Right.
So that's why he stopped around 30, 31.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a pretty good idea of what level the bosses are going to be at.
Definitely some interesting stat manipulation here. And looks like Marth is quickly playing catch up here. Right on the heels of Jacksonus.
Yeah, he set up his party with some really good gear. He's got high evasion and high magic block, so he's probably not going to be hit by many things in here.
Right. Meanwhile, we move to phase 2 of the Kefka fight on Jacksonus' screen. Classy Badger picking up the Lone Wolf spot. The only character we're going to see do that since he's the only one that did the Zone Eater. He gets a red cap for his trouble.
It's got Mr. Entity and Classy Badger trying to catch up into go mode. Classy Badger's, not feeling the luck today as he's grabbing characters and not Espers.
It's kind of crazy how his choices have been the exact opposite of everybody else's, where everybody else has been loaded with Espers but hasn't had enough characters until the very end. Mr. Entity is opting to go up to the floating continent, which we know there are 2 espers to character up there, so that'll be good for him. Get him a little bit closer to that that final number he's looking for.
So you got Marth still checking chests all the way through, probably hoping to find a paladin shield on the way, or like a mega elixir or something. An economizer would probably be nice for the racers too. I don't think anyone found one.
No, I don't think anybody did. Classy Badger looking like he's trying to get just enough money to be able to afford either the fixed dice or the Ragnarok that's in the weapons shop in Thamasa.
But if Jackamus keeps this going, he could possibly get a sub 2 hour, which would be very nice.
Very impressive. Up we go to phase 3. Yeah, Drew, I'm pretty sure all the bosses are scaled to player level right now. Yikes, that whirlwind.
So on this phase that Jackamus is on, he wants to kill the angel on top, because if he kills the guy on the bottom, the angel could life 2 that boss and bring him right back up to full health.
Ooh, that's a Meteo.
It's a full Meteo. Not too bad.
Yeah, we haven't had any big calmnesses hit yet either, so we're all right now. Ooh, there's a calmness.
And he's going to the last phase.
Yep.
Biggest thing he's got to hope for is hopefully not a Ultima's coming his way.
Pretty sure maybe he's got some mementos or some safety bits on. Sure. Meanwhile, Marth going for round 2 against the Great Fire Chicken himself. And making short work of it.
Classy Badger going for the extra fights to get some experience and gold.
Yep.
I can only imagine old man holding a shield and just throwing dice from underneath it. I think Classy Badger's got this.
Think so?
Yeah, if he hasn't died yet, I think he's pretty much got it.
GG.
GG. Jackinus
Kefka is down. Jackinus finishes with a time of 2 hours, approximately 2 minutes, give or take.
2:02? Not bad.
Yep,
not bad at all.
Too shabby.
That's a really great time, especially for a mode that just came out. You
Officially,
don't know what to expect.
officially 2 hours, 1 minute, 38 seconds was his final time. Very, very impressive. And it looks like we have Jackson's going to come in for an interview in just a moment here. End credits randomly have a bunch of additional characters that we never found pop up. Where were you all this time?
And then Marth getting the bottle of breath for an easy win. It's always good to make sure once you reach those switches, though, to take off your Moogle Charm so that way you can utilize another relic. And those earrings add a lot of damage that Marth put on.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Welcome,
what's up,
Jack Smith. GG, buddy. Wow.
Thank
what
you.
a seed.
That was fun. The random bosses made things a lot more interesting than they usually are, I have to say.
Well, I think your definition of fun is going to be interpreted differently, player to player.
Entirely
had-
possible. Assuming I didn't forget any checks, you were stuck between Funbaba or Poltergeist pretty early on, it looked like.
Yes, and that it was Poltergeist followed by Otmolepin in Magitech Factory, and we had someone go there even earlier than you did that got stuck midway, and it took him the first hour and 15 minutes to get out of there with his original starting 2 characters.
Oh my good lord. Yeah.
So,
There's a very good reason I saved to a separate save file whenever I went down the elevator, because I
You're
know
wise.
with random bosses, if there was something completely horrible there, I'd want to reload my save and just leave the factory.
Absolutely. And that was ultimately, I think that's what saved your run too, because everybody ran to that brick wall for a moment, and then of course you found the progression at Opera, and we were able to move along through relatively briskly from there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Funbaba isn't a fun boss to fight with only a few characters and low levels, because Blowfish is going to be a guaranteed kill no matter what. So I lost the first fight, but knowing what my choices were, it was just a matter of hunting down some Phoenix Downs to help out with that. And, well, I mean, it definitely helped that Jador had both fixed dice and offering for sale. That was quite nice. Not my
Mhm.
preferred method of killing. I mean, it's a pretty slow physical attack, but when you have nothing else, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. And I ended up relying on that a lot more than I thought I would throughout the seed, but, well, most of the party members could equip the fixed dice, so those got
Right.
passed around quite a bit.
So chat is screaming at us saying, ask about how he was able to survive calmness.
So I heard before we started the race that there's a little glitch in this current version of the randomizer where every enemy special just inflicts blindness instead of whatever stat that it's supposed to. I remember we talked about it in the race channel before the race, and I remember specifically asking about calmness and no one was sure about it. And honestly, going into that third tier, I was really nervous about it, and then I saw him target Setzer with the calmness, and I'm thinking, crap, there goes my offense. But no, he is just blind, takes some damage, and we're good to go. So it's like, hey, all right, I'll take the huge offense into Kefka. That'll make things a lot easier instead of having to really slowly take him down with some shurikens backed by Runic in case, I eat some hyperdrive or ultimate counters.
Yep.
Well, I can tell you, you certainly got lucky because according to the announcements, Atma has updated and fixed that bug while you guys were streaming. So that bug will not be there the next time you play.
It'll come into play for next time, I'm sure, yeah. But it was in effect whenever we rolled the seed, so whenever my other fellow racers get there, I hope no one else is too far behind there. They get in there and get her done,
Yep. Well, we've got Marth that has been right on your heels this whole time, and he I think he just got spanked on the final fight moving up to Kefka just now.
All the space rocks falling into one's face, presumably.
Yes.
Yeah. Something else that either maybe I'm just better at slots than I thought, but the first 2 times I used slots in this seed, I spun Bahamut back to back, which is not something I've ever done before, and I thought was really cool.
Yeah, you got very very lucky with RNG. I can tell you that not everybody was getting that lucky with slots this time around.
No, I bet not. And I mean, I forget which boss it was, but I killed a boss with a limit break in this race too. So just a lot of very rare things happening for me here. So luck definitely favored me tonight for sure. But I think for the most part, I did all right outside of the luck there. There's a couple of little fiddly things that I'm like, what was I doing here again? But it's still a new randomizer, so I think that's going to happen a bit for everyone there.
Well, with
But
the
yeah,
chaos,
this was a lot of fun. I'm happy I'm happy I got to win one of these. That was really cool.
It was really, really awesome getting to watch you, and you took a lot of bullets, but you dodged quite a few as well, based on your routings. I mean, there were multiple fire chickens, multiple Atma weapons, multiple fun bubbas. It was a pretty it was a pretty intense seed from what I could see.
Oh man, I didn't have a webcam or a mic on, obviously, but I was a little upset whenever the one goddess statue Funbaba just Baba breathed out my character back to the airship, and I'm like, well, I want to keep going, but that character has the offering and the fixed dice. This is no good.
Yeah, well, the nice thing about that was that when Baba Breath hit both characters, you won the fight. Like, you're done, you win.
Yeah, I was wondering, oh no, am I going to have to fight like another form of Funbaba with just Sellies, which would have taken a while, but would have totally been doable. I had over 1,000 hit points, and it's not like those thunder spells were going to touch her with the Minerva on, but
having
it was still a point of like, what's going on? This random boss thing is neat.
Yeah, not being able to have Shadow and having to go all the way back out, though, that was, we were all having
With
a good
your
chuckle
equipment,
about
too.
that. With your equipment that you couldn't unequip. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, should I try to fight Kefka without it? I mean, I know I'd be able to do it, but the final fight's going to be so much longer. And, you know, even with the offering and the fixed dice, like, on the second tier, the magic part just wouldn't die for me. And I didn't want to kill both the parts at the same time, because I didn't want to eat a quarter followed by 10 hits and lose some of my characters. So I was a little, perhaps, more careful than I needed to be there.
Yeah, it makes sense. I
Like,
think.
I was gonna say, I can tell you, Funbaba is definitely a funny boss. You know, you if you only had one character and he uses Baba Breath, it's basically a free fight, and it ends. However, if it does have another screen to load, like the actual Funbaba location, you're going to get a second boss, and you might not know what it is. So, really, really cool stuff.
Right on, right on. Well, I do want to kind of see where everyone else is at there, but, you know, if you guys had any other questions for me in the next couple minutes, I can field them before I wander off here.
I think I'm good. I think we're going to try and get Marth in here for an interview after he finishes his final fight. He looks like he is well on his way to Kefka right now, being on the second phase of the tower right now.
All right, well, if that's the case, I'll just mute myself and wait for Marth to show up, and then I'll chat with him a bit too, just for fun.
Sounds good.
All right, well, radio silence for me for now. I'm going to open up the stream and see what's going on.
Yep.
We'll talk to you fine humans again momentarily.
Yep.
Thank you.
GG's. Good racing, man.
Yeah, great run, Jackmas.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
I can confirm I am not a fire chicken.
I'm not going to confirm that I'm human. I've often been mistaken for a wily purple cephalopod, but never a fire chicken.
So we got Marth going up to phase 3. Let's see if he has any trouble with it. Probably not.
Probably not, knowing now that calmness isn't going to be that big of a factor. I think the real fight's going to be Kefka, or whether or not he gets just bombarded with Meteos over and over again.
It's really Meteo and Ultimo that's going to be the game killer. Ooh, that wind.
That whirlwind is not fun. I appreciate the spirit behind it, Drew.
So we got Mr. Entity with his 8th Esper, and he's closing in on the go mode. Usually when you get this far in a seed, when you finally start getting your characters, they come all at once. Usually, if you've checked over and over.
I'm loving that we're seeing all of these checks that we didn't see before with Classy Badger here.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Entity going for the monsters in the boxes, and he's getting really lucky. He's got the Phantoms, and he had the PM Stalkers, and now he's got the Spectre. Super easy.
I'm scared for Classy Badger. I've been burned by this spot hard. If he doesn't have what he needs to kill the boss on this train, let's hope he doesn't save at the save point.
Is he gonna check the shop? Oh.
No.
If you didn't know, you just stand right in front of the door, and the ghost appears. Marth over there throwing his Super
Marth
Ball.
still doing the Super Ball strats. Oh, that's train. All it does is blind them. That's fantastic. Yikes.
That's a nasty one. So, yeah, good thing to know if you are new to the community and you want to try some of these harder modes, the randomizer, the boss randomizer. Definitely, try an open seed first. Get familiar with it. It's gonna make it a little bit more easier for you. But if you try to do a dragon fight, you're probably almost guaranteed almost 100% seed. I've been doing a few of those, and dragon seeds are definitely you need mostly everybody.
Yeah, it's because so many of the dragons are locked behind characters, so you have to find Edgar, you have to find Cyan.
You gotta get Locke.
Gotta get Locke.
And that's only if you're doing the character gated seeds. But those are really fun and very new. And also, I know we mentioned this before, but if you check out the map tracker on Emo Tracker, the community's done really great on putting these things up, and even the Emo Tracker will tell you which character gates what, and it's color coded. It's nice, it's easy to use, and it's definitely going to get you familiarized with this game quickly, and you'll be running these seeds quickly before you know it.
Vamp, I don't know what's scarier, being chased by a train at Doom Train Spot or being chased by Doulahan. Like, it's oddly appropriate that you have a chariot riding ghost monster riding after you through woods.
I'm just curious what we're gonna get from this. I'm thinking it's gonna be an Esper, but it would be really nice to see like Cyan coming off the train. Actually, no, he wouldn't come off the train because the check for the train is at the beginning of the train.
Yep.
So,
personally, it's my opinion that any boss that you encounter in this spot should be suplexable. Yeah, there was a shop Jacksmith that had Illuminus in it. Another one had Ragnarok as well.
Another good thing to know, if you have Sabin early on, that wasn't the case in this seed, but Mr. Entity's doing this collapsing building. As long as you have a Moogle Charm equipped, you can do it without any threat. You don't have to do any fights or anything. But there is 2 monsters in boxes, like the one right there on the left, and the one upstairs. super
That
easy
is
check to
the-
do.
Second finisher of the race is Marth SR with a time of 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 47 seconds. He's going to quickly take a bio break and then join us for an interview. GG Marth. Let's get some GGs in chat for Marth. That was a rough seed.
All right, and we got dual hand down.
Yep.
That Starlet was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Entity is at almost go mode.
Yeah, he needs one more Esper, one more character. Meanwhile, Badger needs 2 more Espers.
I'd say his only issue right now is his character's levels are pretty much all over the place. That's why he's like kind of filtering in characters to get them some levels to balance them out.
Ah, look at this classy Badger. He's gambling. Is it? No.
It's a Sky Render though.
Yeah, we already got one of those from Gao's dad's house.
And that's an expensive Sky Render.
Yep.
You see how that woman just ran out of there with that sword, running with the sword? That's not safe.
No, not at all. I think we are joined by Marth. GG, Marth.
Yes, you are. Thank you very much.
What a seed, huh?
It should be called Funbaba Seed, really. I mean, I've encountered that guy like 3 times or something like that.
Yep.
It was crazy. I mean,
all over the place. Congratulations on your second place finish there, bud.
thank you very much. Funbaba and Fire Chicken were like the 2 recurrent team of this seed.
Well, we had double Atma Weapon as well. Atma Weapon was after the first Fire Chicken, and then he was also in the Burning House.
Right, I do remember meeting it. You're actually right. I think I fought him twice as well. I mean, I fought a lot of dreaded battle monsters, if you will, on that seed.
I think the only early boss that was actually free might have been Welk at the very beginning. I think everything else was just mean.
Yeah,
the Welk in Daryl's tomb was pretty funny, for sure.
Yeah, it was a bit of a respite for sure. There was also, I believe, Narapa at I don't remember which place, but that one was a relief as well.
Narapa was just.
You had 2 of them.
It was one of the
vanilla.
statue bosses, I believe.
Yep, one was vanilla, and then one was in Kefka's Tower. So there were 2 of them.
Right.
There were 2 poltergeists too, because poltergeist was in regular poltergeist spot, and I was a little nervous when I saw that, but I had a Minerva, so really, unless it used stop or a bunch of shrapnels, I wasn't going to lose. I guess.
I think we just found a third Narapa.
Yeah,
there we
Oh,
go. Up
man.
on them Colts on Entity's game, it looks like.
Well, on my end, it was just Super Ball after Super Ball after Super Ball after Super Ball.
It worked.
Had no
for you,
choice.
though.
Yeah, but at that point, I really had no choice, especially with those big monsters at those spots. I
Oh,
figured,
man.
okay,
The
Yeah, I
goddess
figured-
statue
Oh,
at,
man.
at Sir Behemoth as well. Man,
Yeah. So that's why I
that's
figured.
right. It was the goddess statue that I killed with Setzer's Limit Break.
yeah.
Nice. So
Well, the thing
yeah.
is, honestly, the Limit Break probably did less damage than a regular attack would. Marth, I don't know if you found it, but World of Balance Jador had both a fixed dice and an offering for sale, so that was quite nice.
I think I found the fixed dice over there, but the offering, it might have been over there, but I have a feeling it could also have been at Gal's father's house. But then again, my memory's all messed up from that disaster of a seed. But yeah, I do remember finding an offering, and basically this was my bread and butter for Kefka.
Yeah, there was actually a second free offering in the game if anybody decided to brave Fanatic's Tower. Fanatic's Tower had Go-Go.
Oh,
And
no.
I was
And inside
considering
the Zone Eater.
going to Fanatic's Tower at one point whenever I picked up Strago, but the Burning House just kind of gave you everything you needed. It seemed to me, so there was no need to. I think Burning House is where I got Sabin. So from there it was just, well, Sabin had some easy checks. Let's just go polish this thing off and get to business.
Which totally the right move. The top of Fanatic's Tower happened to be so.
Oh.
You'd have
Oh
been
right,
stuck
no,
fighting
sorry,
magical
that's my mistake. That's my mistake. I'm being corrected by someone in chat now. Sabin was in the Umaro spot, but I
yes.
think Umaro was in the Burning House.
No, Umaro. Burning House was Gao.
Right.
Gao led to Shadow, which
Right.
led to
Okay,
Floating
led to
Island.
Shadow. Okay. Yeah.
Floating
now it's all
Island led
coming
to
together.
Umaro.
Umaro was on the Floating Continent. Then you
Yep.
go to Umaro's spot, and then at that point you have the 7 characters, and it's just
Go for some easy espers.
I don't think I was really hurting for espers or characters, honestly. Like I knew worst case scenario, I could at least go back to the Magitech factory and pick up the esper from killing number 24, but I never had to do that because I found another one somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, that that Magitech factory was the Achilles heel in everybody's game. Everybody that went there spent the majority of their runtime there just because of what you had to get through to leave that place.
Actually, I think I was fortunate enough to have I think a few Super Balls, and I was able to do it first try.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was lucky.
You were the only one that burned right through it.
That's really impressive, Marth. I, in retrospect, very wisely saved to a different slot. So once I saw that it was Poltergeist, I was just like, yeah, this is going to take forever. The answer is no. I'm going to load my old save, leave the factory, and try the Opera House and see what happens there. And it led to...
Everything,
basically, yeah.
Wow. But yeah, my rationale behind that was I would go in a tough spot with a level 3 character using Super Balls because those don't scale regardless. Those will do extraordinary amounts of damage, like from 1,000 to even 7,000 or 8,000, no matter your level. So if you use that as a level 3, it just destroys everything if RNG's on your side.
Yep.
Oh, Marth, if I'm reading the chat correctly, you also killed a boss with Setzer's Limit Break, so that's pretty badass.
Did I?
Setzer clearly was the MVP of this seed.
Oh yeah, totally.
Before I picked up the fixed dice in the offering, I was just rolling nothing but good stuff on slots. Like, I rolled Bahamut twice in a row the first time I used it, and then it was always just like a Chocobo or a 7 flush to wipe the randoms, and it was good, man. Setzer was a badass this go around.
Setzer was the man.
Poor Classy Badger.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
He has been trying so hard to find one more Magicite, and he just found his 12th character.
Whoa!
Yeah, he just found Edgar at
Poor guy.
Castle. He found Cyan when he tried to do
Just-
Mount
It's
Colts.
just
like,
luck of the draw, I guess, isn't it? For
Man,
Badger there.
that
He's
is
over the
unlucky.
count by five humans right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's
Rando's gonna
another
rando.
Narapa, by the way.
Oh man. Okay, Nerapa and Funbaba, the seat is yours, guys.
Yep. I think Mr. Entity might be taking a death here. This is a really unfortunate fight to find. Oh no, Smoke Bomb's out. Okay.
Did Classy Badger just get another character?
Yeah, he just got Edgar. I'm pretty sure he's found like all but 2. And at this point, I'm not even sure which 2 he hasn't found. It's either
Yeah, I believe he just left the auction house. He didn't grab the Esper there.
Hey, I
And
don't
he
know if
finds
you guys
Locke.
have been paying any attention to Discord or not there, but not too long after Marth, one of our non-restreamed folks finished in third
Zenobian?
place. Zenobian,
Zenobian finished at 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 26 seconds.
GG Zenobian.
Zenobian. Man.
But
he's
yeah, that
looking
was.
crazy.
Oh. Oh
All right,
yeah,
guys,
that.
I'm straight up leaving the chat Rooskies right now. Myself and my roommate have some debauchery planned here, so I will catch you fine folks later.
Enjoy
Ooh,
the
debauchery.
Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah,
All right,
we'll
take
see
care,
you
Jack.
next Saturday, if not sooner. Take her easy, boys and girls.
All right.
Jacobus.
Cheers. Good game, Jackmus.
At that point, not to be a party pooper, but I'll have to leave as well. Girlfriend requires a bit of attention, so I'll go do what I have to do.
Understood. Take care, Mark.
See you later.
See you guys.
GG.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Oh, Classy forgot to put a Moogle Charm on his level 5 lock. Oh, and he's going for the guaranteed Esper. Pretty sure it's guaranteed Esper.
Should be guaranteed.
Then he takes his Stray, gets his 10th Magicite. I'm going to start counting characters when I see him make his party for... He's so lucky these are not big fights.
Mr. Entity's got a vanilla fight over there.
Yep.
And 2 of his guys are just either made out of cement or laying down on the job, taking a nap.
So the only 2 characters that he didn't find were Terra and Realm. They could be anywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot more checks left now that they got some of those newer characters. Although I think he might be getting a character, Mr. Entity might be getting a character after Doma Castle.
Okay.
But there still is a lot of Espers still left in the game too, so
Yeah. It blows my mind how much we've seen, yet still haven't gotten through all of the characters yet. And he's off to Kefka. No, he's not off to Kefka's Tower. You better hope you put that Moogle Charm back on, or he's going to hit Doom Gates.
he's gonna go hit up a shop first.
Okay, that's smart. Yes, I believe it does. No, it doesn't. Huh. Never knew that.
Well, I was just really unlucky looking for Doomgaze earlier because I spent a good 5-10 minutes
Hey,
flying around.
I did not know that. So he's in a fixed spot. Huh. No, we haven't.
So, cool thing to know, if you are doing the Rexol events, and even if you're Science level 5, you will still learn all the sword techs, and you will be able to do Quadra Slice at level 5.
Very cool. Classy Badger taking basically a skeleton crew into Kefka's tower, as we kind of expected he would.
I am a bit curious to see what that Atma weapon is.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to see it unless they want that save point, but it doesn't seem very likely.
Alright, Classy Badger has found his Magimaster. Now, it's a good thing to know, even though you can fight against these Magimasters, and if they're out of Fnatic's tower, they still take incredibly reduced physical damage. So it's not advisable to be physical attacking them. However, if you're throwing weapons at them, it works great.
Ravlin says, so since I rolled this seed, Rexel is either going to be vanilla, another fire chicken, or a goddess, right? And to that I reply, no, in fact, Rexel is going to be a
He's gonna be tall
fire
armor.
chicken. No, it's going to be a fire chicken who uses Zinger.
Fire chicken uses Zinger.
or just another fun Bubba.
I mean, it's definitely possible.
That was a spicy hit from that Magimaster. Oof. What do we got? We got another Air Force.
Classy Badger is...
He's running into some trouble with this Magimaster. Air Force 2. I'm just saying, if the president's airplane, Air Force 1, had a face painted on it like that, no one would screw with our country. They'd be too afraid. Then they better have 5 more where that came from then. And Air Force is killed by a rabid flock of stampeding chocobos.
Classy is was trying to kill. Nope, Classy is forfeited. That's okay though. It was a little rough seed, and
It was a very rough seed.
I'm sure if he had a little bit more time to look around the towns, he would have the gear he needs for that.
Yep. Well, with that, I think it's probably best that we wrap it up to give the people that are going to be running the next event in Randomania 2 time to set up. So,
Yep.
What do you say we close it out, Vamp?
Yep, let's it was a good run. More random games coming. We do this every week. It has been consistently Saturdays around this time. So
Around 7 p.m. Eastern, we usually have an announcement go around 6:30 for signups in the Discord.
Yep.
For Worlds Collide.
And even if you aren't being restreamed, you can still go through the Discord and sign up to play and race against the restreamers or anyone who signed up for the seed. And it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. We just want to give a big shout out to our runners and the rest of the community, and say that we couldn't do this without you guys, and it was a really good time getting to commentate on these really fun new seeds and new settings that Atmatech has been putting out. Atmatech is our developer for Worlds Collide, and he's doing a pretty awesome job, I have to say.
Yep.
And then our trackers this time around have been Ravlin and Rofalos. I want to say thank you to both of them for all their hard work. And then, of course, my cohort here, Vamp. thanks very much for your commentary.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a good time. And one more time, grats to Jack Smith for winning with the almost sub 2 hour victory.
Yep. And if you are new to the community, go ahead and check out the post by the Randroid bot. That's where our Discord and our website is. Check it out, get the info, and join us up. We'd love to have any newcomers. We're very, very helpful to anyone just getting into it.
Yeah, we'd love to have you ping us, and we'll help you get all set up and get you running your own seeds.
Yep.
So,
Go ahead, check out Mr. Entity if you want to see him finish up that seed. He's going to be a little bit longer on it. So I think that concludes us for tonight. This is Scott and Vamp.
signing off.
Yep. See you guys later.